Hey, welcome back to Blue Heron Homestead. If you're one of our subscribers from wherever you're watching, we want to thank you. If you're new to the channel, we want to ask you, don't flip yet if you like gardening today and growing trees. If you don't care about that, go ahead and flip and go find something else. What are you doing here to start with? Find something else to watch. But if you do like planting trees and you're in zone 9A, I want to talk with you about a few things that you should look for and look at. First of all, you need to know what type tree grows well in zone 9A, and you need to know how to plant it and how to care for it. Today we're going to hopefully teach you a little bit about that. The first thing, we have these trees that grow well in North Georgia and in the Carolinas, but the varieties are just, it's too hot here. That would be most of your apples, a lot of your peaches. I mean, while a peach will grow here, a lot of varieties won't grow as well as those in North Georgia. For instance, if it says Florida King or Florida Queen, you want to go with that. If it says a tropic tree, while the tree will survive and do really well here, you might find that it loses some of the blooms because it sets blooms early and has, you know, all that cold that will kill the blooms. Also a loquat tree, that'll live here forever. But unless you put a little bit of care to keep it covered, you're not going to produce any loquats here, even though the tree will do just fine. So you've got these marginal trees, about all that'll really grow fine here outside those. A pecan tree, they do pretty well. A pendo palm does pretty good. And let me see, a pear tree, that's about it. So you see it's a narrow threshold. So with these plants, we have those that will marginally grow here, those that are too cold, need more chill hours and just can't stand the heat, and the tropical plants. Well, I want to talk with you about two things. Before I get into the tropical plants though, number one, design matters. Don't just go out in your yard and say, oh, I'm going to dig a hole and drop a tree in it. No, don't do that. I mean, it could work, but why do you want to make your life more difficult than it has to be? You need a place that you can water. You need a place that you're not continually weeding things, and it just works better. So in the realm of tropical trees, I want to show you how we do this. We start out, we take these molasses tubs, and you could just fill the tub up, but your tree will die. This is a 3/8 to 1/2 inch bit. I normally put one in the center. I third it up. That allows water to go through the bottom. I get a little higher. You know, I'm going to stop with 3 today. You see, now this is around a 30-gallon bucket here. It works really good. We take these, and what I have found that I recommend for the money, now Fox Farm is fabulous, but Fox Farm soil is expensive. For the money, this jungle growth, this is 1.5 cubic foot of garden soil, and it's around $8 or $9. I can't remember, I'm sure it varies. I recommend using this. Now, all of my trees do not have jungle growth in them. But it is better than what I've used before. The best looking trees here have jungle growth in them. As we look, here's our lineup of tropicals. Mangoes. Don't even try to grow a mango outside. I don't care what type mango you have. This is a Pickering mango. It was kept inside of a greenhouse this last winter. On the night that the heater failed and it got down into the mid-20s at least in there for a little bit of time, it almost died, but yet you see it's coming back. I had a Kerry mango that did die. I've this spring purchased a Kerry mango, a Namdok mango, and a orange, let me make sure I've got this right, orange sherbet mango. These are 4 trees. These are the varieties that I wanted to try, that I recommend. We're going to see what happens, but as you notice, in Georgia, these 2 are going to produce mangoes this year. The orange sherbet, too early to tell. Now, here's how we do with the soil type. when you plant in a container, I typically put a 1.5 cubic foot bag in it. Then I sit the tree in. I won't, if you notice the roots at the top, you don't want dirt up like this on the tree. That'll kill the stalk or trunk. So leave the dirt. I mean, this isn't a tomato plant. Keep that in mind. Then we like to use a ground up pine bark mulch. Now, don't use the red stuff, orange stuff, brown stuff, black stuff, ground up 2x4s with dye, because you save 50 cents. You like your stuff better than that. The reason I like the pine mulch here, it's acidic, it works well with most trees, and rather than just pine nuggets, I would rather have the ground up bark. That helps to give a barrier for weeds and to keep the moisture in. So come around here with me, honey, and notice what else we have. These are the trees. If there is an avocado that might, I emphasize maybe, I'm going to try it this year, live outside, it is the Mexicola Grande. We are creating a specific space for this year to put outside. We're still going to grow some in, but you can see it's trying to put on baby avocados. So this year we're going to test for you to see how these work. We've got a second Mexicola Grande. These are some of the most cold tolerant avocados there are. I believe they're good down to 20 degrees, but sometimes we go a little below that, so a little attention. This is an Oro Negro avocado. That means black gold in Spanish. It is a really good avocado. This would not live outside. Keep it in a container. I believe this is a Brogdon avocado and an Americano Pancho. We have a white Mexican guava. Now, why do I have citrus in a container? This is a Meyer lemon, and a lot of you are saying, but my granddad, he had a Meyer lemon in his yard and it lived 20 years. They used to do that, and I've seen plenty of large lemon trees that, you know, recent years they've died. They don't produce anything. They're just ugly, spindly little pathetic bushes that need to be uprooted. So is this tree cold tolerant enough to live outside? I've had 2 die in the last 5 years, so I'm going to take that as a no. So, but I still like Meyer lemons, so there we go. Also, as we get older, sometimes it's just difficult, you know, to move this stuff, because when you fill this thing up with a tree and soil, it's heavy. So here's the way we handle this. Buy one of these. It's just an oversized hand truck. Look at the wheels. It works really good. It saves your back. I mean, hey, all you've got to do is throw your back out one time and go to the chiropractor, and you've paid for this thing. And if you're like us this year, we kept bringing these things out. This is the second time I've brought them out this year. I hope we do not have an Easter snap this year. For some reason, every year you get an Easter snap, and maybe this cold spell we just went through was our Easter snap. You can see our corn, it's kind of burnt from the cold, but follow me and we'll see what else we've got. Now, over the last few days, temperatures here dropped down in, watch out for the tree. Temperatures here dropped down to 30 degrees, maybe 29, and oh no, look what happened to our potatoes. Why did this little guy? Maybe he's special. Maybe we could, you know, get the genetics out of this and have like a cold tolerant potato. Who knows? But maybe they'll come out. I don't know. We'll see. These just burned down. But over here, look at our apples. Remember what I said? These are our outside trees. What about design? On the front, you have an Anna apple. My big tree is a Dorset golden apple. These next two are Dorset golden apples. The one on the front is an Anna apple, and the one on the very back is a tropic. Let me get it. We need to, while we're here, we're doing a tour, right? So tell us about your apple tree. We have a tropic sweet apple. Now, this tree, first year plant, we'll see how it does. Most years this tree produces more and more apples. I'm waiting until next year to do a video on how to prune these, but come take a look at this. While I highly recommend the Dorset golden apples for this area, Gala I do not recommend. What about, someone might grow Galas, but I can't. Okay, so that's why I don't recommend it. What about the Anna apple? Is this tree still alive? Yeah. But look at this. Look at those. This tree shouldn't look like this. So as we have our apple row here, it's irrigated, it's properly fertilized. First thing we're going to do, we're going to work around this. Now this soil is soft because we recently planted it. I like to come in and put, we've got a 12-inch auger that works on the PTO of a tractor we use around the farm. I always use it to start out digging holes. Why am I going so wide like this? That's a really good question. All right, wait for it. There we go. Look at that. That should not have lifted out that easy. This tree does not get to occupy real estate here anymore. So, I'll come back and clean this up later. I don't think anyone wants to watch me clean up the dirt. Oh man, isn't it a beautiful morning though, hon? Listen to the birds. See, birds like a nice clean yard. They like to just come hang out and sing. All right, So come over here, honey, and take a look at this. What we've basically done, we have dug a hole here, and I'm going to take a bag of our jungle growth. I had a little bit left in there, and I'm going to spread it out. We'll come back and get this. We want the hole to be wider. Don't just go out in your yard and dig a hole just big enough for the pot to sit in. Years ago, I knew this older gentleman, and he grew a lot of produce, and he would always dig a hole, and he would put the tree with the top of it. Yeah, you've got to photobomb our video. I mean, really? That's Matthias, anyway. But he would put it about 6 to 7 inches beneath the surface of the ground. You don't want to do that, because his idea was he would go pour a 5-gallon bucket of water in it, and granted, he had some really good produce. But here's what we're doing. All right. Now this is pretty good. You want to have it in such a way with your tree that, let me just see, there's a quick way we can tell here. Watch out. Yeah. You want to basically put a little more dirt underneath it. I like to put this soil because it allows the roots not to have an immediate shock by getting into the native soil. It starts growing, then penetrates that. But you want this to be even with the top of the ground, maybe slightly raised. Don't put it in a hole. You just don't want to do that. So now we're almost done with this tree. I meant to bring a knife to open that, but we don't really need one. All right, so let's see how this works. All right, it's looking pretty good. I like to push it down with the soil. Don't pack it, but you want it. Well, aren't you packing it? Yeah, but only slightly. What I mean, it's not a fence post, so you don't want to come in and just compress it at some high level. And that is how you plant an apple tree. Now there's one more thing I want to show you. I made these from a piece of 4-inch drain tile. Why do we use this? Because when you weed eat, when you have your mower, you don't want to hit the bottom of the tree. I mean, if you break this bark, I mean, this tree will die, because all the nutrients for the roots send nutrients to the tree, the bark sends nutrients to the roots. So in order to keep it healthy, that's what I do. I need to caution you on something. We have a lot of fire ants here. And with fire ants, what they love to do is get at the base of this tree. Why? Because it stays wet. The ground is soft, the ground is moist. Little insects want to go up the tree. There's a buffet. So why would an ant not like this? But look at what happens. They come up in here, fill this up with dirt. It's like a fortress for an ant, you know. And then it rots the bark on the tree and kills the tree. So don't do it. You need to keep watch on these. Come by usually weekly. Take some ant spray, insect killer. Do what you got to do. That being said, let's go to our next location. Now, if you look behind me, we have 2 trees here. One of these trees is a citrus tree. One of these trees is an apricot. All right, you remember how we talked about design? What do you see? This is my fruit tree row. Not just trees randomly placed. But before we go, I want to show you something. For those of you who are struggling with citrus, okay, now this is a clementine mandarin. It's a little bit yellow. It wasn't yellow before the cold. But look at the leaves, or look at the blooms. 30 degrees, it kept blooms on it. It has fertilizer, it has water, it'll come out. Clementine mandarin. By the way, most of this fruit will be knocked off. Over here we have a sunburst tangerine. If you need to see that. You see how it looks, full of blooms, 30 degrees, maybe in the upper 20s. Over here, once more, sunburst tangerine. And right here, a Harvey lemon. Now the Harvey lemon, I've never grown one of these before, but it has a higher cold tolerance than a Meyer lemon. This tree is supposedly good down to 20 degrees before it suffers damage. As you see, it did just fine as a young seedling here with 30-degree weather. And what I love, I don't see any thorns. So I really like trees with no thorns. By the way, when you're working in a garden or yard, these gorilla carts, and I don't really care, gorilla cart, it doesn't matter who, just get you a cart. Takes a lot of the work out of it. Now it's time to know the truth. All right, here's where people, I think, get it wrong. What do you see at the base? Oh wow, someone says, it's still alive. Yeah, maybe. This is your graft. Are these, is this the old rootstock? Oh good, okay, let's break those off. What about if we come up here? That's above the graft. It's trying to produce, but let's just say, if you want to test it, okay, that tree's still green here. So why am I digging it up? Because I don't know what it's going to do. What I do know is that it's not a healthy tree. And oh, guess what? I left my shovel. Let me go get it. No. I think Uncle Scott's got me beat with it. All right, here we go. So we're going to dig up a good wide spot with this old Satsuma that didn't make it. You know, we used to have a giant, beautiful Satsuma here, and it actually survived the winter when it got down to around 10, but I noticed the following year that half of the trunk was dead and rotten and half alive. And when a tree gets that badly damaged, you know, there's a time to just cut your losses. Don't waste a year. All right. Let's see what we got here. It's a lot of dirt. Healthy looking roots, that's a good sign. You know, I should have put that back. But all right, we'll see where this goes. Sometimes you've got to squeeze these a little bit to make it let go of the tree. Look at that. Good, healthy roots. Make sure we've got it in line, and we do. But I'm not quite where I need to be here. Let's try this now. That looks about right. Once more. We want to make sure that we are that the tree is not sitting in a hole. Even if it's up a little, that's okay, but don't put the tree in a hole. You can even rake some away from the topsoil here. See, roots, do they grow upwards? No, they don't grow up. That's the tree. Roots grow down. Some grand philosophy there. Free advice, I know you like it. We'll do a video on the grapes pretty soon. You can see they're starting to come out. I'm excited about that video. Wait, trying to get ahead of myself. I know better. I know better. All right.
What about watering these vines?
I actually have a underground system, so we will water these, but you need, at this time of year, depending. Oh, thank you for bringing that up. When you plant your trees, don't plant citrus trees in the winter. The best time to plant a citrus tree here is in the spring of the year. On the apple trees, the ideal time there is in the fall. Now, if it's in the spring and you've decided to plant like we have in March, that's okay. But let's say you go purchase an apple tree and it's got blooms and you want to keep a few of those, keep it inside until your last hard frost has passed. But when we've got a small tree, you want to knock off most if not all of the fruit the first year. Let that energy go into producing a good healthy tree. Of all the apples we've got this year, only one is really big enough to produce good healthy fruit. The others may try, but you get the idea. Oh, and don't forget, by the way, with the variety, this is an orange frost satsuma. This satsuma is supposedly good down to 15 degrees Fahrenheit, so it should take the call. So get Arctic varieties. I recommend Dorset golden apples with our apple trees. I recommend about half of the citrus and all mangoes and avocados be kept in a container in a greenhouse. With citrus, know your variety. Clementines, sunburst tangerine, Harvey lemon, orange frost satsuma. One more. Now, I've never planted an apricot. Look at this. Tilton Apricot, Shuckleberry Farms. Get the number. And the reason I recommend them, they sell you stuff that can grow here. They've already tested it. If it's meant to be indoors, they'll let you know. All right, here we go again. One final tree. Look how pretty these are. This is our prize peach in Alberta. It's going to do really well. We have our Florida King varieties are producing as well. This tree is a lot older. So what do we have here? Healthy pear trees. We have our nectarine tree. And we have an apple. I want to show you something. Shouldn't look that way, should it? Means it's dead. You don't see green. This is actually a Anna apple. So once more, I don't know what it is with Anna apples. Maybe it's just me, perhaps. Something's trying to come out from rootstock, but we're not giving it a chance. Why? Because we want an apricot. And we probably need to bring a little extra soil here. I brought a rake, but I haven't needed it. But here's the point. Always take more than you need for whatever you're doing. All right, so let's see. There we go. Wow. This was a pretty bad apple, I guess I could call it. Get all that old root out. We'll loosen all that up. Now let's try our final tree. Oh, perfect, perfect. Let me line it up. I need to look a little closer. Honey, come look at this nectarine. You can see we planted this earlier, but see how the root ball is at the top of the ground. That's what you want. I might add a little extra soil there, perhaps a little mulch. We're just going to put all of this. What if we don't need it? It's not enough to take back. Wow. So here's the idea. Because I was filming this, I had excess. And as I mentioned, we need a little bit of extra soil here. So by our nectarine, keep it away from the root ball, but around the edge, good fertile soil. So there we have it. And almost, I know you thought I had forgotten, didn't you? And yes, actually I did. There we go. So, I'm speaking to the people who live in this zone who are trying to get it right. I enjoy it when we hear from you in the comments, and I appreciate your feedback. Thank you for watching. I hope this encourages you to get out and plant something. Remember, it may be different in 6B than it is in 9A. But until next time, thank you for watching Blue Heron Homestead.